This episode of Whiskey Ginger is brought to you by Rabbit Hole Distillery and their one-of-a-kind Kentucky bourbon and rye whiskeys. What I love about these guys is they are small batch, okay? That means under 15 barrels, so you know the quality is going to be there in every single bottle. I love the way this bottle grips. I feel like I can run around with it like this and drink it all day. I love this stuff. They have 4 different expressions. The Boxer Grail is what I've been sipping on. This is their Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. You guys know I'm not a big rye guy, but I do like this a lot. They also have the Derringer. Derringer is their straight bourbon whiskey finished in sherry casks, which I love. The High Gold, which I usually be sipping on, that's the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. That's the OG. And also to finish off the Quattro, it's the Cave Hill, the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Cave Hill as well. This stuff, very delicious. But this Boxer Grail, that sour mash rye I've been digging on, it's very good, man. It's got a punch from that rye grain, but follows it up with flavors of citrus, bright floral notes, and they got black tea flavors in there. Either way, you got to get your hands on some of this stuff. They sell it all over the place. You go to rabbitholedistillery.com and you can find out where they sell it in your neighborhood. They list everywhere where these are available. And do yourself a favor. Pick up a bottle and see how much you like it for yourself. Follow me down the rabbit hole, won't you? Go to rabbitholedistillery.com/drizzly, rabbitholedistillery.com/drizzly. Use promo code RABBIT for $5 off your first order. Pick it up, drink it up, and do it responsibly. Have fun. What up, Whiskey Ginger fans? Welcome back to the show. If it's your first time joining the show, welcome to the show. We got a good one for you today, like my man Steve Harvey done say. It's Nimesh Patel. Nimesh Patel, very funny dude. Go check him out. He puts up a ton of stuff on the interwebs, as all the new comedians do of this day. You got to keep up with the times, baby. Speaking of which, what time is it? Time to come see your boy on New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. Come on out. If you got plans on New Year's Eve, come out New Year's Eve. If you have plans on New Year's Eve, come out New Year's Eve. If you have no plans at all, come to both shows. We're out here, baby. Go to AndrewSantino.com for those tickets. AndrewSantino.com for tickets. That's the only place to get them. Don't go anywhere else. Or I'm also doing meet and greets, so you can come say hi to your boy on New Year's Eve. AndrewSantino.com. Enough rambling from me. Let's go to the episode.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it once again today. It is the first time, and hopefully not the last time, I'm joined with Nimesh Patel.
Thank you
for coming, man. Cheers. You're drinking a little bit of wine because Bert Kreischer gave you wine,
Yes.
which is sad to me. I'm, of course, having a little bit of Rabbit Hole, having some Cave Hill. But how is the wine, first of all?
It's exactly how he said it was, which is a great Syrah, easy to drink. You could tell it's definitely not complex. It's like the reason the wine he was so adamant about is like it doesn't get you hungover because it doesn't have as much sugar.
Yeah.
It doesn't have many tannins and sulfides, and you could tell it definitely does.
Because it tastes like shit.
It tastes good. I could guzzle this for sure. It's like
Because it's not heavy is what it is.
Yeah, it's
Syrah is like a lighter grape. Is that why?
I have no idea.
Who knows? You know enough. You sounded up top. You sounded like a sommelier.
I went to a vineyard once, and so that's enough.
You're like every white girl in the Midwest.
Exactly.
They go once, they're like, this is a blended grape. It's very good pairing with pecorino cheese.
The soil was perfect.
I've been to a bunch of different wineries, vineyards over the years, and I do that thing where I'm like, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to listen. And I get shit-faced, and I miss all of it. It's the same with cooking shows. My wife and I watch a million cooking shows, like millions of them. I don't know. I couldn't tell you how to make one thing.
Because you're drunk or eating?
Just because I'm busy and I don't care. It's background noise.
Background noise.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just background noise.
You were married. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah, I know. You thought I was gay. A lot of people say that.
That's not what I was going to say.
Nah, Nimesh, don't lie to me, dude. You're in my studio.
I thought you were just a much younger bachelor.
No. How old am I?
38?
39.
Okay.
It's not that young.
Yeah, I'm 36. But yeah.
How long have you been married?
Technically 2 years, but because we did it like
she was in prison for the first one?
Yes, I had it locked up. No, it was what's it called? Pandemic. So we were supposed to get married right at the beginning of pandemic, and then pandemic happened, so we couldn't. But I had to do the legal thing because my grandpa was like, "You got to get married." He's like 95 and telling me this from his like bed he had been in for like 10 years. you got to get married before I die. So it's like,
Wow.
I was like, all right. so
For him. So you did it for him.
Yeah, so we did the legal thing just so we could go and whisper in his ear, we're married now. And then,
He didn't even get to come to the wedding.
No. And then like
Wow.
a year and a half later, we did the traditional Hindu ceremony.
Right.
And
Which are phenomenal, by the way.
thank you. Yeah,
800,000 people show up.
It was small. It was only like 250, but it was
That's tiny.
It was a small wedding, but we did it, and then like a month and a half later, he was gone.
Oh man! So the wedding killed him.
Yes, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I do a bit about it on stage, but I was like, yes.
we knocked it out.
He kept saying, "I'm waiting." And it's
How
like,
old was he?
95.
Dude, Indians, man, longevity out
Longevity,
of you guys.
yeah.
Did you have an elephant at the wedding?
No.
Sometimes they do, right?
I've seen elephants. I've seen the standard thing is a horse,
Love the horse.
but I had a.
You could have propped him up on a horse, your grandpa, and let him
Yeah, weekend at Burn. No, he was
Gallop.
there. I mean, yeah, no, I would love for him to come, but there was no way he was gonna make it there in a wheelchair or nothing. But we had rented a white car, a white Jaguar, instead of a horse.
Oh,
I was
I
like,
like
I was like, I don't want a horse. They stink.
Yeah, they're shit.
There's
It's
shit
a bag of
everywhere.
shit.
They don't want to be there. You know, the horse has never been asked his opinion on if it wants to come to a wedding or not and be surrounded by a bunch of drunk Indians at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like a waste of time. At least I had the car for the weekend. So it was
That's
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Did you let your wife drive it?
They're not allowed in my culture.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. I really like you guys. That's why. Yeah, that makes sense, man. Yeah, keep them in
She
their
walks
place.
behind me
Right on.
at all times.
10 paces, dude. 10
Yep,
paces.
Keep
I get it.
Keep it strict.
Keep it real straight. So you were in town. You're playing shows in San Diego. You're on tour right now, yes or no?
Yes, I'm on tour. It's called the Lucky Lefty Tour. Find tickets at findingnimesh.com.
There it is.
I'll be in LA at the theater at the Ace Hotel in January 20th. So come
What
see
theater?
me.
There's a theater there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what it's called.
Ace Hotel Theater.
Yeah. I guess so. But yeah, there's a theater there, so I'll be doing that.
Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And and I said this before, when I introed the show, that you're someone I'm jealous of because we're in the same age range, right? But you put out stuff online so much. A lot of guys are really good at it now. And I would say specifically, New York guys are very good at it. And you guys put out so much material on there. Are you also kind of, are you in a place now where you're like, I don't care to burn this stuff because I'm not specifically working on an hour, that I'd rather just put more stuff out?
No, well, I mean, it's if you want to know the art and the science of it, the math of it all.
Give me your math.
The math for me is that, I started putting stuff out in, let's just call it like November 2020, December 2020 on TikTok.
Sure.
And I had, I'd filmed an hour at the Cellar in like July, August 2019. So I had an hour to chop up and I could put that out. And then I also had, 6 years of Cellar clips. The Cellar's been recording stuff.
Yeah, I know.
For
I get
about-
them sometimes when I go.
Yeah, they've been recording stuff forever.
They have a
You can get it without the watermark.
Oh, I gotta really hit up Liz.
Yeah,
Say the
but
right
Liz, it's literally just no watermark in the email. It takes a little bit longer, but yeah, that's
Okay.
So I had 4 years of clips that I could chop up and put out, and then a bunch of other stuff. And so while that was going on, I had enough until basically I was like a month or so into my tour, the first tour that I was on, and then I realized that I'm going to be filming every set. I'm not going to put up any material, but tons of crowd stuff just happens.
Yeah.
And I'll bracket, step aside and say, it's so funny to see people think crowd work is all he does or crowd work is all you do. It's like, no, when you do some volume of shows, random crowd incidents happen at every show.
Yeah.
It's not like I only talk to the crowd for my entire set. It's like I'll talk to a crowd and sometimes they'll say something stupid. And that will end up, okay, this is, again, stuff I don't have to burn. It's just a very funny thing I put out.
Oftentimes they'll say something stupid.
And it doesn't even have to be like mean or anything of the sort. It's just an in-the-moment thing that you've managed to capture.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening and what has ended up happening is that I can put out a mix of jokes I know that won't fall into my set that I just wrote, or like topical stuff and that I think are funny, or things that I've been working on for a long time, but I know don't belong in the specific hour that I'm creating right now.
Right.
And that I know I probably won't revisit at some point. So let me just put it out. And knowing that I put it out will make me not precious about it. And I'm of the mind, like, oh, it's gone already. I've already let it go. Like, let it go. Let it be what it is.
So that's good on you, man. I'm editing my special right now, and boy, oh boy, is it annoying.
Why?
I'm particular, Like
Yeah.
I just like I don't put a lot of stuff out online, and I've been told a million times I should, and I just don't do it. And now that I haven't done it, I feel like I'm just gonna wait till the special comes out, and that'll be my version of that.
Yeah. Are you hesitant to put stuff out?
I say the N word a lot, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, that'll do it. I mean,
No,
you
it's
gotta have a
because-
big drop for that.
Yeah.
The N-word special.
It's just because I don't. I'm of this weird mindset, and it's a me thing that comedy is live, and whatever you put out online, no offense, you, me, anybody, it's never going to be as good as live. It just is not. So for me, if I can get away with not putting out as much live stuff and just putting out stuff and then just make you come see me live, then I feel like that's the angle that I'm enjoying right now, especially because the internet is inundated
Yes.
with guys who have a clip a day.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've
you
caused that.
piece of shit.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I've caused that proliferation, but I definitely participate.
Well, you're a
in
part of it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
And that's fine, dude. It's awesome. It's just I stayed a little bit true to the idea that I was like, I don't think that's for me personally, for no other reason than that's not what I wanted to do, and so I've stuck with it, even though I've seen the success. So I'm happy to see it working, but also I like to stay in my little.
Let me try to lure you to
Here he
the
goes.
darker side, which is I'm of the same mind that the stuff I put out and this whatever special I tape or whatever, it will never fully capture the live experience.
Ever, yeah.
But for whatever reason, that crowd work thing or that clip or whatever makes someone want to go to the live thing.
Yeah.
And that, I think, it feeds into your
Sure.
desire of like, I want people to experience it live.
Yeah.
I guess your point is that
I'm doing well enough without it
yeah, okay.
right now.
I'm not, okay?
Yeah, go
Come out.
see him. Go see
Please
him.
come see me.
I mean, go see me first, but then go see him.
yeah.
All right, let's talk about something not so serious and
Sure,
fun. Kanye West. This guy's still supporting him.
I got him
after
on.
all this shit.
They were free. But
I mean, it's insane what's going on with this dude. It's like shocking. Everything I hear that he's talking about, I feel like he's doing it just for clips on the internet. It's almost as if you were like, what could you say every time you do a podcast that would be undoubtedly the perfect clippable thing? And it's like, well, be anti-Semitic, be racist, be homophobic. Like, there's a list of easy hitters.
yes.
And this dude literally is like in a car before, and he's like, I'll say that. I'll say that.
I
say
think,
that.
it's like
He's losing his mind.
the man, well, let's just say, we can agree that the man is a genius musically.
Sure, totally. He's,
Yes.
he's probably the best. He's probably the best hip hop artist of all time. He's in a category of a few.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Top 5, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
maybe
of all
top
time.
3. Yeah, of all time. And he's a billionaire. I don't think anyone in his position or his mindset or someone who's been in the media for this long doesn't know exactly what they're doing at all times. So maybe it's
Even when they're having a psychotic break?
my conspiracy theory mind is like this is all part of some plan. He knows
It's
exactly
a pretty
what it is.
weird plan.
His anti-Semitism, as anti-Semitic as it was, I think was directed at the Kushners, which I think is fine. That's okay.
You think if he targets one, you're okay with it?
Yeah. If the Kushner family, yeah, cool. Fuck
See, I
them.
think he's shooting into the sky at random, and he's trying to just piss off as many people as he can and say the most fucked up shit that he can, because he knows it's like the most insight. It's
What did
it's
he
gonna
say recently?
incite- Well, dude, that interview with Cuomo was bananas.
He
you
did
not
an
see
interview
that?
with no.
It was nuts.
My eyes I've been very close to what's been going on in most
Let me just say,
everything.
you don't want to be on his side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, I'll delete that tweet. Free Kanye.
It is nuts, man. It is like wild to watch. It's just
Uh-huh.
like it's funny because we didn't get to wait. How old are you? What did you say?
36.
Yeah. So we're close in age. It's like we'll never get to see, on a good note, guys from our youth in the hip hop world that we grew up with and loved. We'll never get to see this fall from them,
Right.
Because they're gone already, or they're they're too old.
Or they're Jay-Z.
Right. And
like-
who's too rich and too quiet to
Yeah,
even care anymore.
yeah.
Also too old, by the way.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's fucking old now.
50s. Right?
But when you see him at like games and shit, he does look fucking old. I'm like, "Man, remember when he was a child? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On Life and Times, and you're like, hey, that's a kid.
That's a 26 year
Right.
old man.
But it's just, I guess the guys from our youth, because you're a hip hop head, I
Yeah.
know, and I am too. And those guys are either gone or doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're kind of not gonna have this mental breakdown publicly. But I think the advent of the internet and social, which is what Kanye has been used during his growth and his height, has made him even more famous. I think that's part of his collapse. That's why we're seeing it.
Yeah, I think when you have no one else to communicate through and no other way to do it than just being and seeing a direct medium, you realize that some people need a filter. It's not
my
like
God.
the music is how he should be channeling whatever he's feeling.
Yeah.
And the instant he stops doing that, whatever filter music provides, maybe his anti-Semitism needs like a beat. And we like if we put that shit to like an old school Pete Rock
It's a
sample or
808 on
something.
there. Yeah, no, you're
Oh,
right.
man, all right. Jews do be controlling them. Yeah,
That's insane. No, but he just needs he needs some love. I think he
Yes.
just needs some love.
Yes.
Ha for Pete Davidson, by the way, making it man, does that guy look even better and better as time goes on.
I love Pete.
It's
I love
wild.
Where you at,
The
Pete,
dude-
man?
the
I love you, man.
Pete's the man. Pete couldn't look better as time has gone on. He's won all of these little wars. It's so weird, and he doesn't fight in any of them.
Nope.
And I'm not just saying Kanye. Everything else that goes on around Pete, it's like he keeps winning
He's got-
over and over, and he doesn't have to pick up a gun. It's incredible.
he's
Although
got-
he does own a lot of guns. America, listen up. Pete Davidson owns about 57 guns.
That's why he walks like that.
That's
There's
right.
just 2 in his pants at all times. It's not big dick energy. It's big gun energy.
Big gun energy.
He's got
PG.
yeah. I would have big gun energy too if I had a big ass gun.
Yeah, we just don't own guns because we're not allowed to. People like you and I, because
felons.
we'll just we're both felons.
yeah, willy nilly.
If you were a felon, what would your crime have been?
Some white collar embezzlement, stealing
right.
from a charity.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll Brett Favre this shit. That's what I would do.
By the way, I love that they were like Brett Favre took money from a small community and never went and did the thing. You're like that. They all do that.
Yeah, that's what
an
it is.
athlete?
Yeah,
You mean
of
being a
course.
pro athlete? Open up the books on Joe Buck. Let's see what that guy's done. Like, I think it's so funny. Anyone that's involved in sports media, for sure, they're taking checks and not doing the job.
Uh-huh.
By the way, sometimes comics at a super high level, they get paid so much money to do a corporate. They're not there. They're barely there.
Yeah.
They show up.
Hey guys.
They do 15. They eat a steak and they fly home on a jet.
Yeah, glad
you
to
know?
be here at this Four Seasons.
yeah. I'm glad to be supporting Time Management Corp. So
is
thank you
this?
guys.
Yes.
Have you done corporates, by the way?
I've done a few.
You love them.
I've done a few that I've loved.
Yeah.
Like oddly enough, the Zoom corporate ones that I did.
Oh, that must have been easy
It
cheese.
was. I try to make it as entertaining as possible for myself too.
Yeah.
And like I think I got hired to do 2 or 3. 2 of them were just like random 15-minute spots, and I was like, I warned them before. I was like, look, I'm not gonna pull any. I'm doing political stuff. I don't care if you feel like it or not. If you don't like it or not, don't matter. They usually say don't do political stuff. I'm doing it, and like that went great. 1 or 2 of them, 2 of them were for like people I had worked for previously, and they had gone. One of them had gone to another company. It was like on the board of another company, and I was like, "Well, you're gonna pay me this much money, but in return, I will make like a custom set for you guys." Like,
that's nice.
You know, so like, I need all the information. I'll spend like a week or 2, like writing jokes on like every single person in the board or whatever, and that's always fun. Like, I like doing that. It makes it worth the money. Like, oh, this is cool. Like, and they feel like they got a good product. And I wouldn't do that typically unless the check was big enough. But for these 2 people, like, I'd worked for them before, and I was like, I'll do it exactly like this. And so I had a blast doing corporate stuff.
So that's good.
Yeah.
The other side of it is really a nightmare.
Yeah. The one I did, it was a retreat for doctors in a bunch of Houston doctors had a retreat in San Antonio.
Why would doctors pick you?
Well, funny enough, I performed at one of my friends had to step out from doing emceeing Indian American Physicians Association
Oh,
conference.
I got invited to that.
Yeah,
a few
you
times.
were there.
Yeah, yeah.
To help.
Yeah, I was serving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here
More
is
pate? More pate?
here's a model patient. This is how not to behave. Do not drink whiskey every night.
They're just showing my liver up
Yeah.
on the board. They're like, "This is what not to do." And I'm
Yep.
just like, "Wait a minute, no, I'm here working."
So he had to start. So I got to MC it, and this was right around the time I started really carving out my healthcare material.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I MC'd it, I made sure I did the healthcare stuff up top, and everyone loved it. The doctors loved it. It was like a room for like 300-400 people, and I was just telling the story of how I had asthma attack and all that stuff. 2 years later, I get hit up by the guy who'd been sworn in as president at that event that I MC'd. He's like, "Hey, a smaller group of doctors is doing this retreat. We'd love for you to come and do 10, 20 minutes.
Sounds a little culty.
Do 20 minutes." And it's all the doctors who are like the heads of their departments and like the heads of other departments who have had, a very difficult pandemic time in Houston, and their families at this San Antonio. Children. At the San Antonio hotel ballroom. And I'm slated to do 20. And I know what my 20 is because it's like a lot of the healthcare stuff, and I wrote a bunch of new healthcare stuff. I go up, and my healthcare angle is like, I don't respect doctors at all.
It's the same.
Yeah. So now I'm telling these doctors, you guys ain't shit. I feel like doctors are like prostitutes, this and that. And it's just like, it's 20 on paper. It's 7.5. Sweaty. People moving around. It's a ballroom, but the lights are all on and the
30-foot ceiling.
Yeah, fucking podium with a shitty mic. Everyone's got like food on their table. Everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
And it was terrible to the point where the guy that hired me, the president that hired me, refused to even like shake my hand afterwards.
Ooh.
Because I made him look bad in front of his senior people. And
The check cleared, though.
the check cleared for sure. The check had to clear. And they wanted me to apologize. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. You knew exactly what it was when you were hiring me. If anything, like, you should, I don't want to say apologize, but you should adjust how you think comedy shows are going to go and never do this again.
It's on you, bud.
Yeah, it's all on you. I felt bad that they didn't like it, but I didn't apologize for anything that I was going to say, nor do I. But I just remember, I was like, I'll never do anything of that ilk again. Like,
No.
I feel like I had like this pit in the back of my stomach going like, when I said yes, like this probably ain't gonna work out. These doctors say they're up for it, but I don't think they're up for a good old fashioned ribbon. And especially like older doctors.
Not a lot of doctors have that good of a sense of humor.
They don't.
Except for like plastic surgeons, because they're as we all know, those aren't real doctors.
No, they're just fucking people that got hyper specialized at playing with tiny. I can shit on doctors all day, but
Plastic surgeons are just like kids who loved connects, or like they were very good at like building little things.
do you have doctors in your family?
No. I'm
Hey,
white trash.
You guys started the whole doctor thing.
No. I don't mean the white. I mean orange. I'm the Irish trash. We're. Have you ever met an Irish doctor? You ever
No.
met Doctor Mick anything?
No.
No, dude. I'm trash.
only
No,
the bartenders.
I come from people who build things.
Yeah.
Do you see how good my wrist snap
Yeah,
was?
it's fucking strong motion.
Yeah, I come from the bluest of collars. No doctors, no lawyers. I don't have anybody of any sort of upper echelon in any of my bloodline.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I come from real dog shit.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No.
But also, it's made you a strong person.
I'm
I
the
imagine.
king of all of them. Look at me. I'm on top of the mountain.
You
dude.
living,
I'm
man.
killing it.
I
Are your
got-
parents doctors?
No.
Engineers.
No, my dad has a liquor
How
store.
much more racist can I be?
No, these are good guesses.
Yeah.
Most other people that were sitting in this chair, one of them would have said, "Yeah, you're right." Yeah, but no, my dad has a liquor store. My mom,
Liquor store.
yeah, my mom is a chemist, but
That's okay.
not like a high level chemist. She's worked at the same place for quite a while now, but she's a chemist, and there's no like hyper white collar in me.
Sure.
But my sister's a lawyer.
Boom, there it is.
And then I have 5 first cousins who are doctors.
Come on.
And my other cousin married a doctor. There's a lot of
There's
doctors.
a lot of doctors.
So that's why when I talk shit about physicians, it's coming from a place of knowledge.
Right.
Like I've argued with my cousins constantly about the things that we argue about that I make fun of on stage. It's just they're not there to defend themselves, which is exactly how it should be.
Yeah, of course, of course. And doctors have it good enough that nobody gives a shit if
Yeah.
Oh, the doctor feels bad about something. It's fine.
Except the doctors. The doctors get real up in arms. Like I get when I put doctor stuff out, it'll always be like, you don't know shit. People and the doctors commenting in the
funny.
I'm like, word, you mad? Shouldn't you be in surgery right now? Like, why are you talking? It's just like
resident.
Yeah. Go work 17 hours a day. You know, like it's like that. So when I did that corporate gig, I was like, these doctors, I will never do another corporate gig when it's 80-year-old doctors in the room. Just like we should have retired 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although if they call up and they're like, we're gonna give you a fucking truck of money.
Yes.
You know what? Let's do. I think we should do
open
it.
heart surgery.
I
Let's
think
do
it's
it.
time to do it now. Are your parents proud of your profession now?
Yes.
Being one of the top 1%ers on OnlyFans that you are.
I think I would hope so. I think they're just proud of the fact that I'm finally doing exactly what I want in every single way I want to be doing it.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
That sounds very. That's about as whole as that statement could be. They're just happy that you're doing all the things that you want.
I just want to do I'm just doing everything I want and nothing I don't want all the time.
That's the literal goal.
Yes.
Like how long have you been doing stand up?
13 years.
And at the beginning, the goal was can I just do stand up and a comedy, whatever, et cetera,
Something in comedy.
and make money.
Yes.
And not have to do shit I don't want to do.
Exactly.
But you will do corporates and shit that you don't want to do within the thing, but also
That's
as long as you get to do the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the right check attached.
Right.
I'll say no to shit now, which is what a good feeling.
Wow.
You know, it's just like, nah, I don't want to do that.
I haven't said no in years.
Yeah, it feels fucking
I should start
fantastic.
doing it.
It might be the whiskey that is keeping you from saying no. But
I still say yes. I say yes only because I feel like they ask you to leave at some point. So now I'm like, I got to say yes.
yes, I understand that fear, but I'm also like, I value my time differently now because I don't.
You have kids?
No.
Okay.
But I do have. I know that I want to spend time with people I care about more than I want to do certain other things. So
Smart.
I'm just like, yeah, I probably won't. I'll probably cancel this show I got coming up this week, like in New York. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like doing it. It's a good amount of money, but it's like
I've done it. I've done it to that degree. I know what you're saying. Like since I started the special, I keep taking time off, and I say I'm going to go back and do spots and start warming up. And I've done 2, but this whole week I was like, no, and then this happened, and I was like, oh, do I want to schedule a show? But I have that pod with the mesh, and I thought, no, I think I'm going to keep taking the week off, and I keep doing it, which has made me feel good. And I think it also comes with time.
Yeah.
And busyness on other things that I'm focused on.
Yeah.
So I start to section off what I care about. Yeah, I'll get back to it, but
it's a maturity thing. I think it's just like I think and a confidence thing in the sense that I think when you start and you're like, I got to do every single show there is.
As many sets a night as I could possibly do.
Yeah. But now it's like I know who I am. And I know my pace. I know what work I'm capable of doing. Should I want to turn that switch on?
Right.
And so when it comes to the freedom that I have, and hopefully we'll be able to maintain, I think that's the thing my parents were most likely most proud of. Like that I've achieved this kind of freedom, and that they came to see when I taped the Thank You China special back in New York in December. They came to see it, and that was like the biggest show of me. It was only 400 people or something, but it was like for them like 400 people times 2 are going to be watching him tonight. Like
a lot.
They came to see him, and then at the end of the first taping, like I shouted my parents out, and my dad was in the crowd. My parents were in the crowd. My dad stood up and was like,
"Oh, that's wild."
I was like, "Nice, dude, nice." Yeah, take it. I was like, "Yeah, they're
don't
proud.
take my shine, Pop. Sit down.
They're proud, So
that's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is your wife in the game? No.
No, she's out the game.
One head shop per household. That's what we say.
Exactly.
You got to keep the other side clean.
She is away, as far removed from the world of comedy as you could be right now. I met her when she was a waitress at a club. But
At
now,
a comedy club.
yeah,
You're just like Joe Rogan.
it's a classic story.
What? Which one?
I won't say. Just
Privacy.
yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah. But
yeah.
it's
Let's make it up. Were you at Magoobies?
yeah,
Is that where it was?
Magoopies.
It was at Magoobies.
Magoopies in Poughkeepsie, Connecticut.
Was her name Toe? I knew Toe from Magoobies.
Yes.
Beautiful girl.
Beautiful girl. The very opposite of her
Lazy
name.
eye, high tooth. She had one high tooth, right?
Stank.
Loved her.
Smelled terrible. That's how I knew I had a shot.
All right, least favorite city to perform in. Go for it. Come on.
In here, we pour whiskey.
Hey, if you've thought about securing your home, because what matters more than your security, your safety, and feeling good, Simply Safe is incredible. Right now, the Whiskey Ginger fam is going to order the #1 rated Simply Safe home security system for 50% off. That's their biggest offer of all time. They were named the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report. It's the 3rd year in a row, baby. Going for that trip. That trip. And emergency professional monitoring agents use fast protective technology exclusively from Simply Safe to capture critical evidence and very, very, very safely verify if that threat is real. And you can get faster police dispatch to your front door to find out who's going in your yard. I've used Simply Safe for a while now. I love it. There's cameras all over the house. I've got motion detectors as well as cameras, sensors. And it makes me feel great knowing that someone is there if I need it, especially if I'm not home. They got 24/7 monitoring agent, and Simply Safe has a great support staff. And I think it's wonderful. It's easy to set up. That's the best part. They ship it to you in a box, and they can help you set it up. You can do it yourself. I'm not that smart. I need help for sure, as you know. But you should give it a try. Don't miss your chance for massive savings on keeping yourself safe with Simply Safe. My favorite security system. Get 50% off any new system. That's 50% off, half off at simplysafe.com/whiskey. Today, simplysafe.com/whiskey. It's our biggest discount of the year. That's simplysafe.com/whiskey. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Roman is the digital health clinic for men. There's no waiting rooms. There's no hassle. We've talked about Roman on the show before. You know what it is. You know what they got going on. A whole bevy of good stuff for the man. All right, just a straightforward and discreet digital experience, all from the comfort of your own home and your couch, outside in your yard, walking around through the neighborhood, listening to tunes on your headphones or this podcast. Achieve your healthcare goals. Get started by completing a free online visit. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional from the United States, of course, will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman ships directly to you in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. All right? And you know what Roman is. Get Roman ready, my friends. If you want a little pump down, want an extra pump flowing in the pipes down below, you got to get yourself some Roman. It's incredible. It's, look, it's generic Viagra. That's what it is. What else is there to say? And it's $4 per dose. $4, that's less than a cup of coffee, by far, especially what you guys are drinking these days, you kids. $4 is less than a magazine in a newsstand, which almost doesn't even exist anymore, to be honest with you. Just go to GetRoman.com/whiskey today. All right, millions of men are going through it. You're not alone. Just go grab some stuff and feel better. Get that blood flow better to the basement. That's GetRoman.com/whiskey. GetRoman.com/whiskey today.
Ginger. I like gingers.
All right, least favorite city to perform in. Go for it. Come on. You know it. I see you knowing it, but you're thinking about, should I say it? Because it's me.
I've been everywhere.
Same.
Buffalo was probably my worst time.
Yeah. Yeah, Buff is tough.
But, I mean,
Do you do a casino or play a club?
I did Helium.
Okay.
And the club is great, but I think they were the most drunk crowds I've had.
Well, it's Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, at one show, I'll never forget it. One guy he just kept yelling Josh Allen.
Yeah, well, he's right.
Yeah, Josh Allen. I was like, that's all y'all got is Josh Allen.
Yeah, but God bless Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's great.
And Von Miller went over there too, though.
Those sacks the other night were instrumental.
Amazing.
Yeah, but him yelling out
Josh Allen.
like it was, I think, 13 times. And
Yeah.
no one from the club said shit. And I told him, hey, man, all
Every
right.
time
Yeah, but,
he yells Josh Allen, the owner just goes, yep.
Yep. At one point, someone, it might have been the same guy. Have you done the Helium in Buffalo?
Mm-mm. No.
At one point, so the stage entrance is here. Like this is stage. There's like a ramp up to the stage. The guy or someone is like leaned up on the wall trying to creep up onto the stage. I was like, what are you doing? And then someone pulled him away. It was like his girlfriend, Not security. His girlfriend, I pulled him away.
His girlfriend was working security that night, by
Yes.
the way.
And I was just like, I don't know what. I had a good time with the jokes and stuff, but just that vibe of like, these people are trashed. Like, I don't, like, what's wrong? Like,
Buffalo is wild. It's like they're not New York. They're in New York, but they're not New York.
No.
But they're not the Midwest.
No.
But they talk like us.
They're
They
the
kind of have the same
South.
culture, but they're the South and the North.
Yes.
It's strange. They're on the little. I'm sorry, Buffalo. I do love you. Thanks for showing up, but man, you're weird as fuck. Albany, also another weird as fuck place.
Albany.
I played that bozo egg venue that they put me in. The egg, you know the egg.
No.
Yeah, look up the egg.
Okay.
It's just a big fucking egg in the middle of Albany, and you're like, why did they do This is the problem with super small towns that have big egos a little bit. They think they need to make art a big part of their culture.
Yeah.
To be like, people will come. If we put an egg out there,
No.
someone's come. Right now, I've been tweeted at 1,000 times because in the middle of, I think it's in Canada. I want to say it's actually in Alberta. A guy is a big sculpture in the middle of a field of a man holding a Cheeto. And because people call me Cheeto online, people have been like, you gotta go take a picture with this thing. And it's like, I know, but then what else?
You
know what I mean?
I'm in this fucking shitty ass
I can't go to like a good restaurant thereafter.
No.
Then I've got a picture of me with the thing to appease the people. If I'm near it, sure, but they want, for some reason, cities who are like desperate for you to get there because they don't have much, they love to put a bunch of bullshit art everywhere.
And they like to tell you all the things about their city that are incredible. And it's like 3 things, and you're just like I went to Marquette, Michigan. You
Yeah.
been?
No, I've never been.
It's a very nice place. Like, it's just
Sure.
beautiful, small town, maybe 20,000 people.
A lot of whites.
A lot of whites.
Very white.
They are Trump supporters.
Yeah, you
Like-
were the only one that they were there. They
Yeah,
saw you there.
I did a weed festival called Camp Cannabis 2 weekends ago, I think. October 6th, I forget. But it was, I literally went on stage and like, this feels like a trap. I'm the only not white person for miles.
No, keep going, Brownie.
Yeah, and I was
Keep on going.
I was a headliner. It was 3:00 in the afternoon. I was like, what is this? But that all is to say, like, their hotel that we were staying at, we went to the bar at night, and the guy was just rattling off the 3 things that are there to do. And what everyone in Michigan knows everything there is about Michigan, because that's how it's like one giant small town, that place.
Yeah.
Like, no, you got to go jump in the lake. What? It's fucking October.
Yeah, but just do it.
Yeah, we do it every morning.
Come
Get
on,
the
man.
Fuck out
You
of here.
seen the giant seesaw on 14th Street?
Yeah. It's
No.
like,
Get
oh,
on it.
you got to have the sandwich at the Landmark Inn, which
They
is
always want you to eat one thing. There's always one thing they want
garbage
you to
plates in Rochester.
eat. Rochester, yeah.
Rochester, there you go. You got to get a garbage plate. It's like, what? Does that sound appealing?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, you got to get a diarrhea mouth.
That's-
You love it. Dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Shit on a fucking plate. Go
You got to
for
get
it.
poop on a plate is good. That's our Tommy's.
It was ridiculous. But
They try to convince you of the things that you're like, look, man, I just want to do the job and chill out. If you
Exactly.
had one neat thing for me to see, I'm good. I don't need you to try to wow me.
I was in St. Louis. St. Louis, you've done. I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was like, you got to go to the City Museum.
Yeah.
You ever been?
Yeah.
It's a fucking pedophile's dream. It's Mookie and I, my friend, and it was open for me. We got told we got to go to the City Museum. I was like,
Sure.
okay, I'm down to see something new I'd never seen before. We go there and we're online, and there's like kids in front of us with an older mom, and we asked her, I was like, is this like a good place for adults? And she's like, yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm like, okay, cool. Spend like $30 to get in, and the instant you get in, you're like, oh, she meant it's a good place for adults to throw their kids away and have them run around and hopefully
Yeah.
not get molested by someone who's just there. It was so stupid, but it's like, that's what you're telling your people in the city to go to?
Right.
Like,
You can't be rogue adults at those places.
Yeah.
It's like Disney World, right? Like you got to go with a kid. You can't be a 40-year-old and just show up.
And we're walking through the museum, like, at some point it's got to turn. At some point, there's got to be something redeeming about this entire place.
Right. Show me the bar.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's not a bar. There's not good food. There's nothing. The best place is the exit. You're like, what the fuck? Why the fuck why did I come here?
By the way, do you trust anybody who's over, let's say, 25 and goes to a Disney resort alone. But so many people do. It's shocking.
I don't think it's creepy. More than I think it's
Sad.
a little sad.
Yeah.
I understand the nostalgia and being attached to something, but
Nope.
I'm also
I don't. Not Disney.
not Disney.
That's
yeah,
for children specifically.
yeah. It's like
It's not like your favorite food.
yes, and I don't want to talk too much shit about it only because I got cousins that love it so much. I'm like, but guys,
Let's rip them up.
what are y'all doing?
Do they wear Disney clothes?
No, they didn't want Disney
That
clothes.
always for, that's a white thing. That's
Yes.
whites. Whites love Disney.
If I
clothes.
saw an Indian person in a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, I would call the police. This person's been abducted and just broke out from where the fuck they were trapped by older white people.
It is so funny to think. I don't even know why. I understand completely. You're like, if I saw an Indian guy in that, I'd be like, what's going on? Are you okay?
All right, what's happening to you?
But if
man?
I see a white in it that's older, I'm like, it's all right. They're, a
little slow.
little slow on the upswing. But an Indian guy, for some reason, like my neighbors growing up, when we moved to the suburbs, my neighbors in the suburbs were Indian, and
You're welcome.
Thank you so great. By the way, great people.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful human beings. But their dad looked like every Indian dad I would have imagined an Indian dad would look like. You know what I mean?
Like me in 10 years.
Yeah. Well, if you don't like flannel. Do you like flannel?
I love a good flannel.
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
Let me
He
get
always
some-
rocked a tucked in flannel with jeans
Oh hell yeah!
and jeans with dress shoes, which is always that's key Indian.
That's
jeans,
a-
dress shoes.
You were living next to a spy.
Yeah.
That was a man who was like, I will blend in. I will be here. No one will know. The shoes
They were
give
great.
it away.
They
Yeah.
were great. It just looked like what an Indian dad in my mind would look like, who's like got glasses and kind of balding, and like he looked exactly like every guy I think that. Yeah, it's almost as if they made him in a lab,
Good.
and they're like, "We'll plant you right here. Don't make too much noise. Be very sweet to everybody. No one will suspect what's really going on."
Yeah, it's the Americans, but the Indians, like that.
That's a show we should make.
Yes.
Let me write on it.
Please.
I'll be the white voice.
Yeah.
You gotta have one on these.
You could be the
movies.
unsuspecting neighbor.
I am.
Yeah.
Dude, everything I booked now is like weird white neighbor. I did House Party. They remade House Party. I'm the crazy white. I'm the only white on the poster.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's awesome.
And
man.
I wrote.
Did you meet LeBron?
No.
Ah.
No. He helicoptered in. I never met him. He wasn't even I worked with the two main kids and then one other lady on the show. And it was in and out. But I wrote on Jamie Foxx's Instagram, he put up a picture of the poster, and I just wrote, "I'm the white one." And it got like removed. So I wrote it again, and then they left it the second time. But I don't know if the algorithm of Instagram was like, is this a race-based tweet? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it like shuffled it to nothingness. I couldn't find it. And then finally when I found it again, it had gone down the line of 8,000 comments. But I was like, that's so interesting that they pulled it away. Like, I wonder, does the computer do that? Does Jamie Foxx's assistant do that?
It's probably Jamie Foxx's assistant or the algorithm.
Yeah.
I would think it's the assistant because I don't know if the algorithm is reading "I'm the white one" as a racist thing. But
White?
Yeah, maybe.
I guarantee you the keywords are colors, and they're like,
Yeah, there's definitely that going on because I know in TikTok that happens for sure.
Well, you get muted on TikTok now, which is wild.
Yeah, you get muted. I've been muted. I've been flagged for sexual harassment speech or hate speech, and I just appeal all the time. I've only not won an appeal like once or twice. But it's the algorithm that's reading it is smarter than all of us. It's just like super fast and
I can't wait till it kills us. I got to see one of those Boston Dynamics robotic dogs.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen those in real life?
No.
Dude, they're fucking. It is the wildest shit you've ever seen.
How tall are they?
This high. They're about 2.5 feet off the ground, 3 feet off the
the
ground.
ones that do the backflips.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. It's about, I would say, 4 feet long, so give or take, and 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet off the ground, and they pre-programmed with all this stuff, and they were showing me like some of the tricks they can do with it and some of like the movements it can do, and all I kept laughing about was like they were like, and we're all cracking up because it's kind of funny to watch it do it, but my mind the whole time was like, this thing will get up on its two hind legs at some point and just yee and just crack the engineer's neck.
Didn't it?
There's no doubt.
Don't they already have the?
Well, one of them caught feelings.
Really?
Literally.
What?
Not the dog. They developed an AI. You can Google this, but there's this. They developed a program they were implanting in like a machine, in a body type machine, and they were trying to get it to respond to emotion and all that stuff. And after time, it started to like.
Are you talking about the Google story?
Is it Google?
Well, I know Boston Dynamics had they just signed a pledge saying, we'll never use it for evil or anything like that. One of Google's engineers that was working on their AI said that they felt that the AI they created had the consciousness of a 7-year-old or something like that, and it was like it had caught feelings, so to speak.
Yeah, that maybe that's the one. I just read one that was like it started to like emote a little bit or like respond to emotions on its own.
I think it might be the
Yuck.
same one.
Big time yuck.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go down at the hands of robots. By the way, you are my overlord. Let me be your slave. I'll say
Yes.
that right now to the robots.
Yeah, so
Own me.
That's the robot camera. Robots.
No, your robot camera's over there.
Okay, I'm saying it. I'm saying what he said to China and the robots.
You speak Chinese, right? Yeah, you've said you're learning.
Yeah, I say a few things in Chinese. Ni hao, gracias. It's all gonna be Chinese at some point.
At some point, yeah. At some point, this will be translated in live time.
Yes.
Whiskey Ginger in live time Chinese.
It was, but that robot thing that you're talking about, the Boston Dynamics dog.
Yeah.
There was a Reddit thread or a Reddit video. Someone had compiled like the evolution of the Boston Dynamics robot. You gotta see that shit. By the second one, or not like the second to last one, is basically doing like parkour. It's like you could like move it, and instead of it's AI that's reacting to, like getting its balance back and all that kind. You could hit it with like 10 pounds of force, and
It would still fix itself.
Yeah, and so they were
like autopilot on a plane, basically. It's like the same tech as like
Yep.
figuring out how to take a hit and then keep moving.
Yep. And
Great.
but that it was after like that last iteration where like Boston Dynamics had to like be like, we swear we won't use this for war or evil.
Okay.
It's like, right. Yeah, wait till the government's like, we're gonna nationalize your stuff, or we're gonna give you $1 billion and you're gonna make these robots for us. So
Or we're gonna give you money and still kill you.
Yes.
So we'll give you a lot of money, we'll still murder you guys.
Yes, exactly.
No one will know. We'll Epstein you, baby.
In here, we pour whiskey.
Hey, gear up for the fall with Bespoke Post, my friends. I've talked about Bespoke Post and their new seasonal lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections. The Box of Awesome is very much that. It's easy. It's essential to get started. You just go online and take a quiz or questionnaire, if you will, because there's no wrong answers at boxofawesome.com. Your answer is going to help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Each box is valued around $70. But you only pay a fraction of that price. Plus, with each Box of Awesome, you're supporting small businesses. 90% of everything that comes in the Box of Awesome is from a small and up-and-coming brand. 90%. Pretty impressive, if I say so. It's free to sign up, skip a month, or cancel at any time whatsoever. Look, they sent me over a bunch of new Box of Awesomes because they love me very much. They sent me the cask this time, which I thought was incredible. Each barrel is handcrafted from American white oak, baby. It's been charred to create a smokier cocktail, and you can make your own cocktail in a cask and let it sit. You can age it as well, which I think is amazing. And you can mix some concoction of a couple of different whiskeys around the crib. See what it tastes like in a couple of weeks or months or days or hours, depending on how wet your lips are and how bad you want to have a sip. So all you got to do to get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com. Enter the code whiskey at checkout, boxofawesome.com. Code whiskey for 20% off your first boxofawesome.com. Code is whiskey. You love drinking coffee every morning? You know I do. I drink way too much coffee. I'm having about 5 cups right now per day because I'm in the middle of shooting, and it helps. You got to check out Trade Coffee. Trade makes it super easy to get the best coffee delivered fresh from the finest local roasters around the country right to your door. I just got some the other week, and I got to tell you, delicious. I'm a little skeptical because I'm kind of a coffee snob. But going to a coffee shop, it's quite an experience, but it's something that most of us can do any single day of the week. If you're looking for delicious local coffee shop taste on a daily basis in the comfort of your own home without leaving, because you don't want to take off that robe and them slides because you're shuffling around the house, you got to get some Trade Coffee. It's delicious. It's a subscription service. It makes it so easy for you to discover new coffees, new kinds, new blends, new brands. And it's easy and convenient to discover brand new coffees on there. They're going to send you ground coffee or whole beans if you like grinding them yourself. if you make coffee at home. Whether you're just getting started or you're a coffee aficionado or snob looking to discover something new, Trade guarantees you'll love their first bag or they'll send you a new one for free. They're going to give it to you, all right? Upgrade your coffee today with Trade Coffee and let them take the guesswork out of finding the perfect cup. Right now, Trade is offering our listeners a total of $30 off your subscription. That's a lot of coffee. Plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/whiskey. Drinktrade.com/whiskey for $30 off your subscription to the best coffees in the country. Once again, that's drinktrade.com/whiskey.
Ginger. I like gingers.
So this wine has gone down smooth so far.
Yes.
And are you willing to have another glass?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pour it for you because it's only right if I pour you some. But I'm interested. I don't want to promote this wine at all, but it's funny that Bert would give you wine saying it's not going to cause you a hangover. But the real reason that he doesn't get hangovers is because, he's a genetic freak.
Yeah, he's a monster. Yeah.
He's repulsive. He's a pig. He's a beautiful, beautiful man.
I anticipate
You're going to be hungover for sure.
Well, I'm not going to go sleep.
What do you mean?
My
You're not
flight's
gonna
at 6 a.m. My car's coming at 4.
Oh, yeah, just hang out then.
So, I'll just be up.
A little bit drop there. Your flight's at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Are you fancy? Do you do
I didn't book Delta One this time.
lay flats?
Yeah, I didn't this time. It was just like $3,000 one way. I was like, $2,400 one way. I was like, I'm not doing
$3,000.
Yeah, I was like,
Not bad.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have a whiskey sponsor yet.
Jesus, they're really getting us,
At
aren't
least
they?
not that kind. But
Right.
Comfort Plus, and I'm Diamond, so I was like hoping for an upgrade, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's too many actual rich people getting on the plane.
The Richies are going to get through.
And so I'll be in Comfort Plus, just chilling. But the Comfort Plus on the new Delta flights is
Still
actually
crispy.
It's still pretty nice.
Yeah, still nice.
So and it'll be super early, so I'll be tired, and I'll just pass the fuck out, put my sleep mask on.
Like a real East Coaster.
Exactly.
West Coasters need our little beauty rest.
Yeah, I got to
You
sleep.
guys operate differently
Yeah,
than
yeah.
us, though.
I'm gonna try to pass out on the plane, but
Whatever. You
We'll
live
s-
in Jersey, by the way?
I live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I lived in Boerum Hill, Brooklyn for the last 7 or 8 years, and I've been in Manhattan in New York since '04. I went to school there.
Where'd you go?
NYU.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so-
Fancy boy.
Could have been fancier, could have gone to Columbia, but I was rejected.
NYU's a great school.
No, I'm not.
What'd you go for?
I was pre-med when I joined, then became a pre-med finance major my sophomore year, and then I dropped pre-med my second semester junior year. So I graduated with a finance degree and like an almost minor in chemistry.
In chem.
Yeah.
So you're a stupid guy.
Yeah, I'm
You
doing.
sound like an idiot. I went to Arizona State, and
Uh-huh.
I'm really doing it.
I'm doing comedy. So how smart could I be?
Do you think you could have worked out better doing something else in those professions financially?
Yes, for sure. But I feel like the upside on comedy is probably a lot higher if I stay working the way I'm working right now.
Sure.
Whereas I think for a lot of people to get the upside that comedy has, you have to see level in your
Right.
in your job, where you have to be working like at a hedge fund or like a crazy investment bank. Then these jobs get harder and harder to progress and get to that level,
Yeah.
and you get older.
Then you have to really backstab and kill people.
Yes, I mean, that's not to say I got friends who probably make Rogan money in working in finance, and who make Tim Dillon money working in finance, and more than that, like
Yeah.
who kill it. But I also know most of my finance friends are probably doing just as good as I or worse, but they've also been doing like I've only made a good amount of money in the last 2.5 years doing comedy. You know what I
Great.
mean? Like,
Thank you, China.
thank you, China, for sure. But just touring. Like before that, it was like, all right, where's my next job? Like SNL was a good job, but yeah, I was only there for a year. Before that, I had random writing gigs here and there, but you've done random writing gigs. You're not balling out with the random writing gigs. You're not taking Delta One flights
No,
unless
it's a little bit of a favor sometimes.
unless the guild is paying for it, kind of thing. So,
Different story, yeah.
but my friends who went the traditional route, who actually I didn't get a job outside of college. After college, I was unemployed for like a year and a half. So I was living at home, my parents' place. So minus that year and a half, I've been in New York since '04, right?
They were in Jersey, right?
They were in Jersey, so like 40 minutes out. But at that time, my friends were all making, high 5 figures, low 6 figures, working in finance immediately after high school. After college. So it all feels like playing a catch-up kind of game.
You're there now, baby, and then you soared past them.
Yeah, and then it becomes like, okay, now it's time to really hit that shit. And so to answer your question, now maybe I would be doing better financially doing comedy, but had I just stuck that route and not hit this spot in comedy, I've definitely been better off.
What your happiness level is?
Yeah,
that's all that matters, man.
My one of my good friends from college makes great money, but he's just like, I'm so jealous, man.
Yeah,
you don't got to do anything tomorrow.
That's right.
I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, planned. But I did a lot of stuff on all the tomorrows.
Yes.
To get to the place where you don't have to do too many tomorrows.
Yeah, I don't got shit to do.
Also, the culture of finance bros is a little scary.
It's a little nose heavy.
A little fratty.
Yeah.
A little fratty.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw some frat kid online. They're suing the school. Somewhere in Missouri, maybe. He's like...
Oh, thank you for pouring this, by the way.
Of course, please. He's like in the ER, still in critical condition. He had like a .43 BAC.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they drank the kid out of commission.
That's terrible.
It was funny because we drank a lot as kids. I never did any of that. Were you in a fraternity? I mean, there was no fraternities at NYU. Is there fraternities?
There were fraternities at NYU. I just never joined them.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah. No, I forget what the main ones were, but no, I never had an interest in joining. My group of friends is like a fraternity, but without the fucking letters
Payment?
and
Without having to pay it into it.
Exactly. It was just like in my floor, my first floor. That what's it called? My dorm, the floor first floor I shared with other people. Most of us are still friends to this day.
That's same.
The friends that I made in that, year.
Yeah.
I'm friends with to this day because we end up living together the next year, and then we live together next year. And
that's why the proximity theory is real. That's what's so interesting is you could plant yourself in any of those other dorm floors in a different dimension. You'd be best friends with those other people.
Exactly.
It's kind of creepy, huh? We reshaped entirely who you are.
Yep.
As a person. That's why I definitely believe in different dimensions and parallel universes, and because you're like, this could just be my life in another thing if all I did was 2 floors down, 1 floor up.
If I had roomed with Sean instead of Victor, I will be a doctor who traded stocks right now, because that's what Sean did.
Right.
Instead, Victor was my friend from high school. He designed websites then, and now is some crazy developer for a huge furniture site. Like, he does like crazy shit. He worked at Casper, now he works here.
Living Spaces?
I forget the name. It's a brand new, but like apparently a very good furniture website.
Sure.
It starts with a K or something. I forget what it's called.
Oh, KKK Furniture?
Yeah, all
they make
whites
great stuff.
all the time.
Yeah.
You want your furniture white?
Everything's unpainted. None of our furniture is colored. This is all raw wood. The KKK
white
furniture.
But yeah, so he works with some site like that. But had I been roommates with someone else, I would have been. Had I been roommates with my friend Tunmei, who is like a hedge fund quadrillionaire, I might have been also a hedge fund quadrillionaire. Like,
sure.
It's just how the cards were dealt for me.
It's kind of beautiful, man.
Yeah, I love it, and we always in that reflecting hour that comes when you're coming down from Molly, waiting for your Uber. You're like, man, we got a special thing going on right here, guys.
Really, we really are unique.
We're the only 35-year-olds here. That's what it is.
How did you find SNL in terms of like, did you enjoy your time or was it? Because we know a lot of guys that have been there. I'm friends with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I tested there myself. Like I went through that little gambit.
When was that?
Pete, me and Pete were the year.
Oh, really?
It was me and Pete.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
10 years.
Yeah, must have been about 10 years.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Pete and I. Yeah, Pete was a kid. I was 30.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience. Truly. I actually really enjoyed it. And then so many of my friends that came and went from then, I saw so much misery in so many people's eyes, and it was just a tough thing for a lot of the performers because there's so much ego and so much effort, and it's such a painstaking process, and the hours, and there's politicking and all that stuff that like we talk about or like inside baseball know about. It's interesting because just as a writer on the show, not performing, I feel like it's a little bit more palatable.
Well, I was also lucky and unlucky, but mostly very lucky that I was writing only on Update.
Right.
And so all the quote unquote politicking that happens or whatever it was,
You didn't need it.
I was kind of
But
blind.
you saw it.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw it to the extent that people would talk about, oh, this thing happened. But I was me and the other Update writers. We were always kind of siloed in our
Oh, great.
corner of the office of the floor. On top of that, I was the only new one in the Update writers room, so I was even more removed from having to give a shit about what was going on or anything like that.
There's always you, Che, Jost.
Me, Che, Jost, Pete Schultz, Katie Rich, Josh Patton, Megan Callahan, Dennis McNichols, who were the like Dennis and Pete. Pete was the head writer. Dennis McNichols was like the head producer, and then Josh, Katie Rich, Megan Callahan, and Peach and myself on the writing squad, and Scott, who was effectively a writer, not effectively our producer. He would give us all the prompts and all that kind of stuff, and so that room itself, and those Update writers were all together in the same room. I was in Che's office. Che and I shared an office, so I was even more isolated.
Even better.
It was good in the sense I was like by myself, but bad in the sense I couldn't pick stuff up from the people around me.
But maybe that's healthy in the terms of of the creation individual because you're not getting influenced. You don't have to like think about the other people's thoughts about it.
Yeah, it was good in that sense, but also bad in that sense because it was. My learning was again just all on my own. I wasn't surrounded.
Do you not prefer that?
Not in that situation. In hindsight, I didn't prefer that situation.
Sure.
Like I think I would have learned a lot better had I been in the same room.
Group think.
Yeah, or at least it was just one of those positions where like I was never. I'm a quick study, but I'm not a curious person necessarily in that situation.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll just figure this shit out and just do whatever I think is right.
Right.
As opposed to being like over communicating anything.
Which I feel like many people do in those situations because they're worried about what's going on there.
Yeah, I did not do that at all. I was like, this will be fine. My boy hired me. I'm here to help support Che and everyone else. And it's like, I'm here because of that.
Did you want to continue on or no?
I would love to have stayed on because it felt like right at the end it was.
Come on, Che.
I felt like right at the end I was getting my stride. But at that point, it was like I was very grateful that I got to be there. Once my photo went up on the writers' room wall,
that's cool.
And I know was
it a good photo?
I forget what was there's some weird like Instagram challenge that was going on at the time. So us and the new writers, I think we all did some like weird Instagram challenge thing that was going on with the hoodies on or something like that. I don't know what it was. So no, it wasn't a good photo, but it's a photo nonetheless.
Yeah, it's there. And it's there forever.
And it's there until whenever they decide to
until a plane hits that building.
Yes, exactly.
We'll be right back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, NBC covers it.
Yeah.
Bum bum. That is kind of that is beautiful though. I said that to Brooks Wheelan. We walked through the hallway. I've known Brooks. We started comedy together. We came up together and we walked.
How
through
was
the hallway.
Brooks?
Huh?
How is he doing? Good.
That's good. He's good. I mean, dude, he's really found. I'm talking very personal about a good friend of mine, but he's really found his way into what I think is like exactly what Brooks is always. He's always been an adventurous, like get up, get out, go travel and like, live in the woods and live in the mountains. And I was always jealous of that. And he was always like, "Why don't you just do it?" And then at some point you realize you're like, "But that's not who I am."
Yeah, I remember.
I like showering. Do you know what I mean? Like I hate dirty feet.
When I met Brooks, I was like, he told me he was like a biochem major.
Yes. He's a very, very bright man.
And I was
very
like,
bright dude.
Oh, you a genius.
Yeah, he is. He worked on heart valves when I first met him.
Yeah, he's like a fucking super smart guy.
Yeah.
And then what what I love about super smart people in general that behave the way he does is like, you got to figure it out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you know that the only point of life is to just be like outside hanging or like that calling. If you feel that is what you're supposed to be
100%.
doing.
He lives very in the moment. He worked on his company worked on a family member of mine's heart valve, and they can track down the actual number of the valve because they're attached to all these VINs. They're basically a car in your chest.
Yeah.
And you know exactly who made it. You you could actually meet the people that made it if you really feel like it.
That's fucking
which
crazy.
is even more wild. But when I walked with him through the halls of SNL, I had a couple of soda pops, so I was buzzing a little bit, and I was feeling it. And sometimes I get emotional, and my Jekyll and Hyde drunk is never like angry fight. I'm always like maybe a little too sappy or emotional, and I told him, I said, you have to. This is incredible, and he kind of was fucking it off. He was like, "Come on, man, stop." Like probably embarrassing like a dad. Where it's like, "You got to get a picture in front of the picture." But I was like, "This is powerful, man. You got to realize this is an institution."
It is a cool hallway to walk down.
And it's forever. You're forever embedded into the list of these names.
Yeah.
And however he feels about it today is how he feels about it, because your individual take of something is obviously significantly different than those that just come in for a little brief moment in time. But that's still something, again, for you too. Like, how fucking dope. They fucking chiseled you into the book. You're there now with that thing for the rest of time.
I will forever cherish the time I had there. I remember it. There was a window of time between the reality of working there and the dream of working there.
Yeah.
That window of time, I remember being some of my fondest memories ever.
Yeah.
I was just like, I remember what it was like to call my then girlfriend or fiance. I think we were fiance or no, we were girlfriend and boyfriend at that point. Still, and telling her, "Don't tell nobody."
Don't tell nobody, bitch.
I know you're.
Hey, bitch, don't tell nobody.
I know you're in the car with your parents right now, but hold it together.
Yeah.
I just got SNL. I remember that. I remember where I was. It was Midtown Manhattan. I was a little buzzed. I got a text. Mike texted me when I was what's it called? On my way to drink at a bar, and he just DM'd me. He's like, "Congrats, man." He didn't even text me. He just, "Congrats, you now work at SNL." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then like that was it. And it was just like, I remember that feeling. I remember there was like a big show that summer that Che and Jost went up to Montreal to do a gala.
Oh yeah.
And myself and Claire Friedman, a very funny writer that Jost brought on. I remember us two thinking, "Man, this is crazy. We're about to write on SNL, aren't we?"
Yeah.
And then that summer being like the most fun. And then right before SNL started, Che and Jost and I think they had like this big show at the Public Hotel or something like that. And I just remember no one knew, but Cypher Sounds knew. And he
Cypher knows everything.
Yeah,
he has the key to the world.
He said on stage, "Congrats, Nimesh Patel." And people were like, "What are they congratulating you for?" I was like, "Oh, I got Saturday Night Live." And it was just like such a surreal moment to be in comedy where I was at. And then went across the street and I went to Sweet Chick, the fried chicken spot.
Oh yeah.
And I got $300 worth of fried chicken. And I brought it back to the green room. I was like, "This is all me."
I'll sweet chicken this whole fucking place up.
I work at SNL now. And Rosebud was a vegan and or vegetarian or some shit, or being vegetarian. And she bit into this vegetarian chicken, and it was the most disgusting chicken anyone's ever had. She's like, "Why would someone do that?" I was like, I told you.
You can't fake that shit.
It was just cabbage, fried cabbage.
Gross.
I remember that summer. I think of it so fondly. And that time at the show, I can only think of it fondly. Whatever was going on work-wise was secondary to the fact that I was part of this thing.
Yeah.
And that I could bring my cousins, every writer's room. You've been to the writer's room a few times, I imagine.
Yeah.
From a writer's perspective, it's like who do I get to bring to this fucking wonderland?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, man, I get to bring my cousins to this shit. I would be asking other riders, like, you gonna use your tickets? Because I got family, yo. They're 20 minutes away. They're downstairs right now.
700 relatives here.
Yeah, they're
today.
downstairs. They're downstairs right now.
Yeah.
And I just remember like how fun it was to bring my friends and like people who sofas I slept on when I was starting comedy. Who I was like, yo, let's me, you, Jeff Ross. And we're gonna hop in his Escalade and we're gonna go to the fucking Christmas party right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me sleep on your sofa 10 years ago when I started, John and Josh. Like that was, I just remember those moments being like, man, what a fucking fun thing to share with people.
Wow.
Like beyond just being able to work with Che, like my closest friend, and just be around, meet Charles Barkley and all that. Beyond that shit, I remember fondly like being like, my whole crew is here. We hanging. This is like, this may not last, and it didn't, but it was like a very.
But it happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
I remember feeling like so cool, just being like at the after parties, like I got the dinners. I got it. Don't worry
We're
about
not doing that as much now. But,
no,
but we were then.
No. In hindsight, I should have been doing that then. The check wasn't that big.
Well, look, I think you got, I think you got a lot of time and space ahead of you to keep making good moves. I've seen you from afar. I've had a parasocial relationship with you, which is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
You introduced yourself when you walked in the door, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because I know who you are, but I don't know you.
We
but,
never met before.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it does
think.
feel. But that's what's strange is I feel like I know you a little bit just because on the internet. But that is what's negative about parasocial is people think they have a piece of you. What's positive is you feel like I comfortably know you even though I didn't know you, which is kind of nice.
That's a cool thing to experience in that sense, which I hadn't thought of it that way.
When you walked in that door, I felt like I knew you anyway.
Oh, I'm glad you felt that way. Thank you very much. I'm glad.
I don't. It's
feel
weird for you to kiss me on the mouth. I thought that was an Indian thing, but I
that's
thought
what we do.
Yeah, no, it was a little.
Sorry for
strange.
grabbing your ass a little.
No,
too
that's
high.
not that big of a deal. We're gonna have a talk about it. But look, I appreciate you coming here. I hope people go see you on the road and keep continuing great work.
Please come see me.
What's your website again? Plug it again. Say it again.
FindingNimesh.com.
FindingNimesh.com.
Yes, ma'am.
All over the internet to see this man. Go get some tickets. We end the show the same way. Look into that camera right there. Say one word or one phrase to take us out. We used to do a word. Some people didn't want a phrase. So one word or a phrase into that camera whenever you're ready.
Life is about balance.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
Oh, that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.